What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Michael Inman and I'm an active duty service member in the United States military. On this channel I chronicle my time in the Air Force and also I love to review military movies and TV shows. In today's video we're going to be reviewing Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi. This film was released in 1982 following The Empire Strikes Back, and so we're going to continue the saga and keep the story moving. And without further ado, let's start the review. First thing that comes to mind when watching Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi is that, okay, why do they like these walking things? As we mentioned in the last video with, what did they call them? Imperial walkers. Well, in this movie, they showed a miniature version of an Imperial walker where there's maybe one or two military personnel inside of it and they just walk through the forest. They have two guns attached to the front and they do their thing. It has the same vulnerability as the super huge mammoth-like Imperial walkers. So I'm just confused on why they're really going with this concept. It's not a great thing. Or maybe it's a choice of vehicle that has a built-in vulnerability just to assist in story play and helping, protagonists get out of sticky situations, because you can leverage that vulnerability if need be to, have an escape take place in the film. Second thing that I wrote down was the quote that I think it was one of the people who work for the Emperor, now that we have changed from a galactic federation to a galactic empire. One of the people who work for the Empire, he just, somewhere in the movie, probably early on, he does the quote of like, wait, the Emperor is coming here? And it was just so relatable. Like, you've seen it in movies and maybe you felt this before, like when you didn't know the boss is coming and they're gonna be here soon, you go, oh my God, well, buckle up. Because I don't think the Emperor is very happy and they're gonna be here in about 20 minutes. But sometimes as a boss, you gotta roll up unannounced just to see what's really going on. Next thing I wrote was, that monster is scary as heck. So now I'm talking about the monster that they keep chained up in the cave. So this is probably in the first third of the film when they're on that desert planet. Just know there's a monster attached via chain in the basement of where the main enemy on this planet happens to live. So the enemy has a lair, right? And under a drop floor, because if he doesn't like you, he just drops you through the floor. There's a very scary monster in there. Next thing I wrote is not they got R2-D2 being a barback in this bar, because I guess at some point the main characters of Star Wars were captured, or at least some of them, and so C-3PO works as a translator or protocol drone, so that's useful, in regards to, do we want to keep this thing that we found or get rid of it? Having someone or a robot that can translate, over 1,000 languages is quite useful, especially if you're negotiating and bartering. Next, when they looked at R2-D2, they said, well, you look well made. Make him a barback. So you just see this super important robot to the story just like taking drinks from people, and I just think it's comical. Next thing, now we're still in the first third of the film. When they show the scary monster entity alien in the sand, I immediately, I'm sure if you remember the movie, was like, oh, okay, Dune. This is Dune. It's a sandworm. It's a sandworm from Dune. I'm just saying there's some overlap. The concepts are overlapping nicely. So that was kind of cool. I was like, I've seen this. This is the wrong franchise, but I'm not upset. Next thing I wrote, we're probably in the second third of the film. Not positive, but just go with me. I wrote that the Red Guard was such a nice touch. So when Darth Vader rolls up, wherever he rolls up, again, I'm not positive where we are in the film, but just know, he rolls up and you can tell he's been elevated in importance, and maybe it's because it's an empire now. He rolls up and he has these guards that are dressed in full semi-bright red, and it looks so bad. Beep. It looks awesome. It looks intimidating, problematic. They look scary. I know Darth Vader is the scariest, I'm pretty sure, but it got its point across. It's an intimidating group and they seem like specially trained folks. Like, I'm pretty sure they were top of the class and they know how to defend whoever they're walking around. They're like, don't mess with them. They handle business. This is a great point where I tell you what the movie is about. Now, for all my real Star Wars fans, please drop down in the comment section below. Don't cheat by opening another tab and then writing a paragraph based off some research. If you can do it from memory, please help out, because this is about to be a horrible recap. So what is episode 6 of Star Wars Return of the Jedi about? Well, all I remember is that Luke Skywalker and his crew end up on a desert planet to save their friend who was frozen at the end of episode 5. He gets unfrozen And somehow they also end up on a highly forested planet with little people. And somehow this relates to bringing down a protective force field to blow a very important ship, probably another Death Star, out of the sky. How'd I do? How'd I do? With that, thank you for tolerating that terrible recap. Let's get back to my notes. One of the quotes in this film from Yoda that I really appreciated was, "Already know you that which you need." But it pretty much translates to, you already know what you need. Stop asking so many questions, and also stop doubting yourself. What you need is already there. Dig deep, believe in yourself, and send it. If we remember the other quote that Yoda said in the prior movie, it was pretty much speaking to, don't just go into something challenging saying, I guess I'll give it a try. No, say to yourself, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna give it our best shot and see what happens. The next thing I wrote was the teddy bear clan was charming. And so this has to do with that highly forested planet where there's these little people that looks like teddy bears, because I think they really are pretty much just animated teddy bears. Not animated, but you know, like little robots made for the movie, and some of them I'm sure are puppets. So they were super charming. I think, I don't know if I would have chosen that as a character or creature choice because it took away some of the seriousness of the film, but maybe that's what they were going for this third film. Be a little charming, be a little fun. And for all we know, maybe they thought this might, depending on how the box office went, this might be the final film ever made. So they were like, let's be fun. Don't take ourselves too seriously. They were charming, I'll give them that. Next, I wrote teddy bear versus stormtroopers when they were on the part of the movie, which is probably chapter 2 and 3 of 3 chapters, when they're on the highly forested planet, the battle between the main characters of the Star Wars franchise and, well, the first 3 films. Well, the first 3 films made. So the main characters and the teddy bears versus the stormtroopers. When you take away the main characters and you focus on the teddy bears versus the stormtroopers, I think it really resembled a David versus Goliath story, and those stories are always really inspiring. It was quite impressive how they used what they could, they used their ingenuity, and they used it being their homeland, their home turf, to pretty much show those stormtroopers who's boss. Now that we're wrapping it up, this is definitely in the last chapter because it's literally in the last 2 minutes of the movie. I enjoyed the celebratory ending. At the end, when things resolve as they should, it's nice, there's music playing, everyone is happy, I think, throughout the fallen empire, because it's not an empire anymore, quote unquote. So everyone's rejoicing and it's really celebratory, and so I appreciated that being put in the film. The last thing I noticed in the film right after, or really concurrent or during the celebratory moment, was when I wrote this note. I said, is that Hayden Christensen for some reason? Why is he in this film that was made in 1982? And that's what I said to myself. We love a slight modification. Something about when he accepted the dark side, this part of him, that's when his life stops. So thus, if we're showing him saying goodbye or saying you did it as a ghost to Luke, somehow this is the making it work. They were like, well, it wouldn't really be, or maybe this is what he thought of later. Like it's almost like, you know, making the theory and like the lore of Star Wars make sense in the background. I guess George Lucas was like, wow, he didn't really die as the evil Darth Vader you saw. He died when he accepted the dark side years ago. So when he's a ghost, you know, nodding at the main characters, and specifically Luke Skywalker, in the celebratory ending of this trilogy, they replaced it with the actor who played Darth Vader when he was young, which is Hayden Christensen. I know, I'm sure it enrages some people, but I accept the change. Thank you guys for spending, again, another random day with me. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope the rest of your day is positive, enriching, and productive. If you did enjoy this, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload brand new videos. And finally, if you do like seeing my face even a little, feel free to see me a little bit more on Instagram at Michael Inman _. Thanks again, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.